Hello guys, again today, second time on here. Actually, the first time was a mistake. I was supposed to go live in my group and I ended up going live on my profile. But anyway, nothing to lose, I guess. So I'll just give this a couple of seconds. Let Facebook do its thing, tell people I'm online. Today I'm going to share a business lesson actually that I got from my yoga teacher during our yoga classes, and I'll get to it in a second. But before I do, you see, what I've realized is that if we start to look at the marketing side as a practice, like through the lens of sadhana, we would view it in a completely different way. In fact, one of the results that my clients get. Tell me who's watching. Hi, say hello. Tell me who's watching. One of the results that my clients have. I mean, apart from the tangible results that we all want, right? The clients, the sales. We all agree that we need those things, right? To actually call our coaching, mentoring, guiding a business. But there are all of the other results that we get on the way, and one of them is using marketing tools becoming a practice rather than something that you have to do as part of your business. And this is where the whole energy, the whole mindset shifts. And this is when we actually start to enjoy the process along the way, and rather than seeing it as this other thing that I need to do to get business or to get clients. So for those of you who are hopping on, say hello. Today I'm talking about a business lesson that I learned from my yoga teacher. And I was just explaining the difference on the difference in mindset and how we perceive marketing and our business when we look at it through the lens of sadhana, when we look at it as a practice, something that we need to nurture daily. We need to give it daily attention, gentleness in observing our progress, that the humbleness to be present in the journey, in the process, in the progress, in that journey, and not fixated on getting those results like I spoke of. Because if we do that, if we start focusing too much on the numbers, on the results, and always viewing this marketing as a separate entity, as a separate role to our service, to our business, then there are certain things that we will skip along the way. And those elements are so important. That journey that we take of setting the foundations and building block by block are so important to the future success. So let's get straight to the point. So what did I learn on the mat? Let's start from that. My yoga teacher would talk about the 3 steps of the asana, of the pose. There's the getting into the pose, okay, checking that all is in the right place, that you have the right alignment, etc. The second is actually staying in the pose and observing. Now, this is where a lot of us, for those of you who practice yoga, a lot of people don't do this. They move from one asana to the next one, asana to the next, without actually sitting there and staying there to really observe what's going on in the body. So observing the changes, observing the changes from the previous time you practice that, observing how your breath can change the feeling of the asana and the micro changes of progress that you experience within that moment. And the third is actually getting out of the pose with a new sense of wisdom and new insights. Maybe you've noticed something new today, a new understanding that will help you then make the next attempt with more wisdom, with more insight, and with more understanding. So if I had to take, and one more thing that she says is that we're constantly doing, right? In our everyday lives, offline, online, off the mat, on the mat, we're constantly doing. But there's a moment where we need to stop and observe and reflect. So let's take that lesson into our business and into our marketing as a practice. Sometimes there may be an advanced pose, an advanced posture, an advanced asana that may look scary, that may look unachievable. Okay, and this is kind of the same way with our business. So in the asana, what would you do, right? You do certain steps to help you prepare for that asana. They would look completely different, perhaps completely different postures and poses, but they are preparing you. They're preparing your stamina. They're preparing the alignment, whatever it is that you're preparing for the next stage. And once you do it repeatedly, then you will get closer to the result. So in the same way, I have received so many people like coming to me and coming into my space saying, but Hannah, I don't know the basics. I don't know the business foundations. I don't have a marketing degree. I haven't had a business before. I don't have business acumen. And I need to do this before I can actually start to promote my business. That's when I tell them to breathe. Tell me who's watching, guys. Tell me who's watching, so that I know that I can also speak to myself in the camera. That's fine. I've done it long enough. But it's also nice to see who's actually watching him. So yeah, about like not thinking that they need this marketing degree or they need this business foundation skill or whatever. Seriously, what you really... Hi, Corinna. Hey, lovely to have you here. I hope all is well in Malta and Gozo. I heard it was beautiful and sunny the past few days. So I get distracted. A lot of the time, I've seen myself doing it. I see other people doing it. We go on social media, we see what other people are doing, we scroll, and we compare all the time. Now, we compare to people who have been doing it for a while. We also start comparing what we're doing to what we see them doing. Now, what the problem with that is, what we see others doing is only the tip of the iceberg. So if we try to attempt our marketing just from what we see, we are missing the foundations. We are missing the stamina that we need to actually get there. So that journey, that progress, that laying the foundations, doing the baby steps before we can get to the advanced asana, it's the same thing. So I just need to pull up my notes here to make sure I don't miss out on anything here. So when we see others who you feel have made it online, whatever that made it looks for you, whatever that means for you, we also need to remember that they too have started from somewhere. They don't just tip overnight. They don't have this overnight success business online. I'm sorry, it's not real. They might have had a tipping point, a new sense of growth, an up level, but it doesn't come without months, years of doing it, experiencing it, and finding out what's right for them, the strategy that works for them. Yes, comparisons are such a bug in the brain. As by looking at what others are doing, we put ourselves down before even starting. Exactly. And that's the problem, that we get paralyzed basically because I will never be able to do that. So for me, it's like when I look at all of these amazing Instagram sexy yogis doing the whatever, I feel like that's so far-fetched for me, right? But probably if I do the steps that are necessary to build up that practice, to build up that stamina, to build up my confidence in that pose, then I would probably get there too. Assuming I can work on my mobility and flexibility better. But that's a different story. So if getting clients is my objective, if getting clients is your objective, or sales, and for that matter, first we need to start by actually attracting the right people into our space. Okay. And just going back to that comparison, Corinna, this is a really important point. And just to relate back to the analogy of a yoga practice, when we're in a yoga class or in a yoga studio, it is so important to not compare ourselves to the person on the mat next to us, right, or in the row in front of us. We need to be focusing on our own practice, and this is same with business and marketing, guys. It is not different. It is really not different. So yeah, going to attracting the right people into our audience, and we can start by actually showing up with content that you know. So this is when, like, just going back with, you don't need a marketing degree or a business degree. Yes, you probably need guidance and support to help you find the right strategy and help you find and align and tweak your message. But you are the expert in what you're expert in. You know your stuff, and that's enough to add value. That's enough to share your message. That's enough to nurture people and position yourself correctly in the market. So let's take this lesson to our marketing, right? So we spoke about the getting into the asana, the stopping, the reflecting, the observing what's going on, and the getting out of it with a new sense of wisdom and understanding. So in the same way, this is what I've been going through with my own journey as an online marketing coach. So we take action that is purpose led. Why am I doing what I am doing today? Once we understand that every single day, every single message, every single conversation we put out there, we interact, we engage with, is planting the seeds for tomorrow, just like our yoga practice, then this helps you really start to embody the practice of marketing. And rather than saying it, oh, I put 10 posts out, but I got 0 results. It takes time. It takes time. Does it take 10 yoga classes to become a yogi? I don't think so. It doesn't work that way. So again, taking the action, but taking it with purpose. Why am I doing this? What are the tactics that I'm using, the strategy that I'm using that will contribute for tomorrow's business, for tomorrow's long term, for tomorrow's sustainability? Okay, we need to be looking at that. Second stage is observing, the observation and reflection. Now, once we're taking action, if you're coming out online every day, you need to start checking in. Who is showing up? Who is interacting with me? How are they interacting? How am I showing up? Am I showing up with confidence? Am I being clear in my message? Is it clear? Am I giving people a clear direction on how they can work with me, on what they need to do or what they need to know right now to know that you are there for them? So yeah, what are the types of message I am using? Is it adding value? Is it educating? Is it inspiring action? Is it empowering people to start taking action? Is it leading somewhere? So ask yourself these questions, okay? This is the observation part, where you really need to observe, take a step back sometimes and really observe how you're doing it and what you're doing. Just as an example, for example, when I was going live every day, yes, that was super impactful. Yes, I got a lot of new leads. I even got paying clients from it. I also got over my fear of judgment, which I think was the biggest win for me in that. That was huge progress. Now, did I continue? I wish to have continued, but in all honesty, I was feeling tired from doing it every day, and stuff in my personal life offline was happening that needed some of my attention. So I withdrew from that daily live action, but I still remained somewhat active. Okay, so there is no rule like you have to be live every day. You have to do this every day. There's no have to. You need to find what is consistent and frequent enough to show up and be present. There are going to be many times where I come online lives and there's no one watching, but I am planting that seed, because if someone is not watching today, they might pick up that video tomorrow or next week or even 1 year's time, and it might resonate with them at that time. So going back to me, for example, what I found is that maybe instead of going live every day, I will go live every other day or a couple of times a week. And in the meantime, I will be active in my stories. I have my group to nurture and maintain and engage with. I have my programs to engage in there as well. So I need to find what works for me and my energy and the space I'm in. So when people say you have to do this and you have to do that, I will take it as a guidance and a recommendation and not the rule. The more you show up, the more effective it is. The more you show up, the more chances of people seeing you. The more you show up, hey Manoj, hey bro. The more you show up, the more likely you're going to touch someone. So yes, it matters. It works, definitely. But we need to be real with ourselves, okay? And setting what's working for you. So yeah, the observation. And once you find your flow in what works for you, what is aligned with you, what is actually working in terms of response, conversations that you're having, are you attracting the right people or not? Tweaking your messaging, tweaking your, maybe you're not promoting your offer, or you're promoting your offer but you're not bringing out the real motivation of why people need that. Okay, so look at every element and ask yourself, am I doing this in the best way I could right now? So it's like, again, about consistency. It's like planting the seeds and not watering them. What we don't want is to be that friend who only shows up when they need something. Same with online. We don't want to be that person who shows up only when they sell something. You want to show up consistently and frequently for a long enough period to add value. And when I say a long enough period, I'm not talking about 1 month and then you disappear from the scene, okay? Stay active, stay in it for the game. Show that you are credible, show that you are in it for the long term, that you're in it for the win. You're not here to muck around. So that takes me to the next part. So you've done your observations. Maybe you need to do some tweaking, some adjustments, and some alignments. And with that gives you a new sense of insight and wisdom, right? So you can take action with that new understanding. So again, as I said, so instead of doing something that depleted me, I found a way to navigate it that still keeps me present online every day, just not in that everyday life. Okay. So that for me feels more authentic, it feels more natural, it feels more organic. And people can feel that too, right? People can feel that if I'm forcing myself to come here live, or if it's really like this afternoon. I randomly decided to go into my group, but actually I came on my profile. That was very authentic. That was very real. That was very to the point. So yeah, taking that new refined action. And it's only by taking action that we can start growing, right? We cannot, without taking that action, like Corinna said before, we compare ourselves to a certain extent that we don't even start anything. So the only way we can grow, the only way we can learn is by taking action and doing that observation, not going from one thing to the next, not going to the next shiny object without giving a chance, without doing something frequently enough, consistently enough to understand if this is right for you or if this is working for you or not. Okay, so doing it, observing what's happening, tweaking it along the way, but not doing it once, giving up and going to the next thing. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is not the way the universe works. So this is not the way marketing and business works either. So just to close up, like when we begin to treat our marketing as a practice, as sadhana, this is when we start to embody the principles of marketing, of our business, our purpose, and adopting techniques and tools and strategies that we learn to actually make it work for us. So this is when the real progress starts happening. When you take that strategy, you adopt it and you make it yours. You make it work according to you, your values, what is possible for you to show up in your 100%, to show up as the real you. And it's not forced, it's not military type. It's natural, it's organic, and this is where the way we attract at the end of the day. So yeah, when we let go of those vanity results, okay, especially on social media, when we let go of the number of likes and hearts, we want to be looking at the conversations that we're having as a result. Okay, we don't want to be looking at those numbers, because those numbers mean nothing. Most of my clients, actually, they were not the ones who were hearting and liking any of my work. A lot of them, not all of them. So be patient. Even if you think no one is watching, there will be someone in the sidelines watching you, and before you know it, they'll pop into your inbox and ask to work with you, and most of the time you wouldn't even know they're watching, you wouldn't even know they existed. So keep at it, keep patient, and trust in the process. And finally, your results, i.e. clients and sales and income, are a byproduct of the way you show up. Okay, results, sales, clients, money, these are directly correlated to the actions that you take. No action, no result. No action, no learning. No action, no understanding. That means you're not progressing, you're not moving forward, you're not growing into that person that you want to be, that business that you want to grow, that life you want to have. So it all comes down to taking action. Um, yeah, now I'll just look at my notes just to check if I'm missing anything out. So yeah, if you want to achieve that, we need to be looking at the groundwork. We need to be setting the right foundations for the future. Instead of getting stuck looking at the vanity results, looking at the vanity engagement, looking at the stuff that other people are doing on the outside, we need to tweak that. We need to break that. We need to, what's the word, like unpack that and look at what's actually driving that marketing that we see at the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. So yeah, earning money does not need to be hard work. Although no one said that running your own business or setting up an online business is easy. It is not, because the hardest work is not actually the tools, the tactics, the strategies. Those you can learn. You have people like me, you have many other people out there who can help you with that. Word of advice, please stick to one person, because if you try to work with too many people at the same time, you're going to go crazy. Yeah. But we need to, the hard work is actually coming from within, coming from getting over that fear of rejection, getting over that fear of judgment, to actually show up and start taking serious action, believing in our value, knowing our self-worth, sharing that message with the people that you can help, because that is where, this is the why you came into the space. This is why you started your business. It's to create that impact. It's to serve. So we need to remember that, yes, there is hard work, but marketing doesn't need to be a bitch that is separate to your business. Once we start treating it like a practice, when once we look at it as a practice, then things become easier. We show up, we handle it, we do it with ease. Doesn't mean there's no work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's with ease. It's aligned action. So I want to leave you with that. And on a final note, I am hosting a masterclass on the 12th of March, and that will be at 1:30 Central European Time. Strategic alignment is specifically for you guys who need a tweak in their positioning. You're feeling like maybe you're just one of many out there. And I am gonna give you some insight on how to position yourself more boldly and confidently, and how to stand out in the marketplace so that you attract the right people to come to your business. So that's going to be a little bit of the groundwork, right? A little bit of setting the foundations so that you can, show up as who you are and not be just another coach, not just another wellness coach, not just another healer. We want you to be fully you and really attract the clients that you can serve, you can help, and you can change and transform those lives. So I invite you in there. I will drop the link below. It's only 33 euros. It's a bargain price. And I look forward to getting together and hosting you all on Zoom. So if you have any questions about that, of course, drop a message in my inbox. I'll be happy to answer you. In the meantime, wishing you a beautiful evening here from Kathmandu, and bye bye. Lots of love.